I saw a Reddit post a few days ago that said, longtime Tenkaichi players have compiled a short document that addresses more than 90% of Sparking Zero's problems, if not 100%. So, me being curious, I had to check this out. As you all know, 90% of the player base of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero left by the end of the first month. So I feel like the reason as to why some of these players left can be related to some of the problems that we may see on this list, but we will see. The list itself isn't necessarily just a list, it's more of a feedback form. The document aims to provide feedback for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. In this list, you will find issues, features that many players would like to see updated, removed, or added. The previous titles in the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi Sparking series combined ideas that appealed to both casual and the competitive audiences. Tenkaichi 2 Sparking Neo and Tenkaichi 3 Sparking Meteor in particular were games that were easy to pick up but difficult to master. While Sparking Zero provides many options for competitive gameplay, a lot of mechanics can be unintentionally abused, making many of the actual combat options redundant. This makes Sparking Zero easy to pick up in many instances, easy to master through means that should not be rewarded. For example, spam and skill abuse. This document will provide additional information on how the game can extend its longevity through updates to the mechanics, content, and quality of life features. Here we also have the contributors that made this document possible. I would like to thank them. I personally do not know all of them, I just know a couple, and it's pretty cool to see their input on this. Now they also have a legend on the document to let us know what is more important and what is technically less important, and that's, pretty useful, because with this I kind of checked out real quick what they really thought what was important, and some of the stuff that I've seen here I can definitely agree. For example, I recently just talked about rage quitting, right? And the first thing they talked about was rage quitting. If an opponent disconnects or rage quits, their rank points should decrease, while the player that stays should be rewarded with an increase of rank points. Adding a timeout system may also help this issue. I think the timeout system is also real because I think the timeout system would be actually helpful, because in some cases there are some games where I'm actually just playing and they just put their controller down. I think they just want to rank down or something, but it's like they just put their controller down. So me, out of respect, I would emote, let the person know that, yo, the game is on, and then if they don't do anything, then I'll just have to continue the fight. They said adjust super counters. Me personally, yeah, I don't get super counters off that often. I'm not that good. I'm just in like B. Right? I'm a B rank. I'm not A, I'm not S, I'm not Z. So personally, it doesn't affect me that much because I can't get the super counters off when I want them to come off. So personally, it's really whatever. For me, these ones are really whatever. But let me just read them for you. Adjust super counter cooldown. The input can be spam without consequences. Back in Tenkaichi 3, the game puts a 1 second cooldown on super counters when the input is pressed with the incorrect timing. And the game used to punish players who press the input again by resetting the cooldown period. It appears in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero that the game doesn't have as long of a cooldown, nor does it punish the players that just spam it. Super counters should be a lot faster, so as to make avoiding them more skillful, and to cut down on how often Z counter exchanges occur. I mean, they say that super counters happen very often, but they usually don't land their actual hit against the enemy, because what happens is the super counter happens, and then the opponent will either Z counter or just straight up vanish, and then it's a vanish war if I'm not wrong. Super counters should be accessible during Z counter exchanges. Allowing super counters during the exchange would allow for a skillful option to escape. This was possible with some characters in Tenkaichi 3. To be honest, that's a pretty good take. I personally would never be able to super counter a Z counter. That's kind of crazy. Now they moved on to Z counters. They said remove the voice lines for after image strike vanishes or just make it limited. It's kind of annoying to hear the same voice line over and over again. I mean, they did say that they just would rather have a vanish audio cue instead. I mean, it's kind of alright, but I personally don't mind it. For me, it's whatever. They said make Z counter chains quicker. Z counters should take more ki to perform, and it should be faster in general. Currently, exchanges of Z counters take too long to complete when both players have a lot of ki. Z counters should take most of it, if not an entire ki bar. Additionally, the player with less ki should be the one who wins the exchange by either teleporting behind the attacker but not knocking them away, or by knocking them away while locking out immediate follow-up options. This is to prevent a positive feedback loop, i.e., the player with high ki will typically stay at high ki indefinitely. Make vanishes more visible / audible, like in Tenkaichi 2 and 3, including for skills such as After Image Strike. The vanishing effect currently has no proper visual or audible cue to let a player know that their opponent has vanished. This makes it extremely difficult to counter some skills. And I'm not gonna lie, I can agree with this. Some of the stuff is a bit... I would prefer a higher, like just make the audio for the vanishing maybe louder. I don't know, something like that. That would be cool. Perception and super perception. For standard controls, while in perception stance, the guard input can be spammed to break throws. Please remove this. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Perception recovery is too fast. It allows repeated use without any repercussions while taking little ki. I can see as to why perception recovery would be too fast, as they've shown in the little video under. Like, Gogeta is just spamming perception, and that guy still has 2 ki bars. That's kinda crazy. Doing a rush combo can lead into a rush in attack. Rush in attack shouldn't be defendable with the super perception. The rush combo should be the safe way to combo, unless the opponent has enough skill to super counter, I agree, or guards one of the 3 rush-in attacks. I would agree with that. That's actually a pretty good take. Oh my god. Skills and skill count, brother. They said, slow down skill count recovery by like 40 to 50%. They say the game is far too generous with how quickly these are gained, giving player more opportunities to abuse skills. The game provides lots of active ways to obtain charge on skill counts. To compensate, the passive recovery speed of skill counts should be decreased significantly. The things that you can do to get skill counts in this game are losing any bar of health, taking damage from behind, doing dragon homing offset trajectory after a smash, any kind of recovery, Z counter chains, sonic sways, beginning of any impact action, and winning any impact action. For the skill counts, they said, bring back the slow ki charge debuff, aka ki sickness. I 110% agree. To be honest, I thought there was already ki sickness in the game, but I was wrong. Far too many skills can currently be abused without consequence. Some examples include skills which grant instant access to sparking mode and after image strike. In Tenkaichi 3, this feature prevented the player from abusing them by slowing down their ki charging speed. Tenkaichi 2 fixed this issue from the first Tenkaichi game. Tenkaichi 3 also had slightly slowed down the dash speed with this debuff, which is pretty nice. It's also unclear when After Image Strike's effect is supposed to end. I mean, we're just gonna have to raw dog it. We just have to see that, yo, okay, this guy's not disappearing anymore. So that shit gone. Because, yeah, the game doesn't show the timer until the 30 seconds of the match remain. I would argue it's the last 60 seconds, but that's just me, making it difficult to constantly tell when it will end. Yeah. The average key charge speed in the game is noticeably higher in general compared to Tenkaichi 3. I mean, personally, I don't mind, because like, it's a fast-paced game, and I kind of like it. Me personally, that's my opinion though. But I think that's alright. I think that's why it's also in green. But then again, we're kind of doing a reference from the previous games, so I get where they're coming from. Offense. Either doing a recovery dragon dash smash or a dragon smash in general is automatically held if the opponent is about to recover. Remove this. This wastes ki for no reason when the player stopped holding their punch button after inputting dragon smash. Real. The unguardable Z burst dash that giants have shouldn't be able to hit multiple times in quick succession. Me personally, I don't use a giant like that, even though I use like Super Baby 2. I only go into like giant form when I'm fighting against my friends and like we're just having fun. Other than that, I rarely use giants, and even then, I rarely fight giants because I'm in singles. I don't usually do DP battle as much. I'm just like what C1 in DP. I'm not that good. The unguardable Z burst, I mean, is something that a lot of people abuse when they get into the giants, right? The game's normal combo rules prevent using multiple of the same rush chain without kicking the opponent out of the combo. I see that. Giants should not be allowed to do this without consequence. I see where they're coming from. Characters with innate super armor have double super armor after entering sparking mode. This is overbearing on characters lower than 6 DP who also lack an instant sparking skill, as they have no way outside of sparking to stagger them anymore. It does remove like a lot of forms of counterplay. Yeah, that's very true. There's many instances where I'm just like, yo, I'm using someone like Baby Vegeta, and then there's someone that pulls up with like a Broly, and I'm just like, okay, I have to go through 2 transformations before I'm able to like hit you normally, till we're back on the same type of playing field, which is insane, right? During sparking mode, giants have an unguardable full power smash that does 8,000 to 10k damage. This is a problem because sparking mode gives giants double super armor, which prevents any counter attack against the giant. I can see how this is a problem. In addition, the player can stall out the giant's sparking because they spam the dashes. It also takes too long to recover after a giant smash, so it leads to infinite unguardable smashes with little counterplay. These smashes can defeat most characters with only 5 or so hits from full HP. Bro, what? That's insane. Yeah, because 8, most characters have like 40,000 like HP. So yeah, about 4 or 5 hits, you're gone. That's kind of insane. Priority of attacks are not implemented constantly. I guess the charge smash attack can clash with the regular rush attacks. I see what you mean. And rush chains can clash with regular rush attacks. I see what you mean. There's been a few instances when I'm fighting with my friends and I would do, for example, a heavy attack, and they would do like a square triangle, for example, and by the time the triangle hits and my smash attack goes off, it just nullifies. Everything just nullifies itself. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, that's cool, but like, what? Sparking mode's keybar briefly stops draining when doing a Z counter in sparking mode. Wow, I did not know that. What? It does briefly stop. What? That's insane. I did not know that. There is no counter hit notification in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, meaning that there is no form of clear communication that the player causes them to get hit. I don't know about this one in particular. I mean, if you get hit, brother, you get hit. But if the counter hit is the hit, and no, am I wrong? Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Oh my god, the defense. Characters who haven't recovered from being knocked away will still guard Beam Blast that begin with a cutscene. Yes, because what the dude, there's so many instances where I'm using Super Baby 2, right? I enter sparking mode and then I start hitting away on my opponent, and then I hit them with a triangle with like the up one so they fly away, right? And then they're stuck in the flying away animation, and I'm just like, okay, let me hit you with my ultimate, right? It's basically a spirit bomb, but for the Tuffles. So now I usually hit them with that, but it doesn't do the full damage. It doesn't hit them with the animation. Nah, it just reduced the damage, and I'm like, bro, that's my ultimate. What do you mean? What do you mean? But yeah, let's look at this. For example, Goku GT Super Saiyan 4 times 10 Kamehameha begins with a cutscene and be guarded in this instance. I hate the fact that it can be guarded in that instance. The fact that it's just a cutscene, because if we look, fully charged smash followed up by a 10 times Kamehameha when he isn't guarding does about 12k damage. A fully charged smash followed up 10 times Kamehameha where the opponent is guarding does about 463 damage. Very, very underwhelming. There is some inconsistency with rush attack combos. For most characters, with comboing from the front, even if the rush in attack, high, neutral, or low hits, the follow-up rush attack will only hit if it is the second rush attack combo, but not the first rush attack combo, with the exception of Gogeta GT, Super Saiyan 4, and Birder. The first rush attack combos, starting with a punch, after a rush in attack, hits can be guarded. Yeah, I'm seeing that. Oh yeah, you're seeing it. Right after he does a rush in, you can see that he can guard it. He can immediately guard it. While these guys are an exception. Piccolo fight back. God damn. Characters with multi-hitting blast and volley blast have an issue where if the character gets hit with an individual instance of the blast, the player would be able to vanish the rest of it, including any follow-up cutscene. I've seen this happen a lot with Super Saiyan God Vegeta. I've been using Vegeta base, then I go into Super Saiyan God and with my friends, and this does happen a lot of times. I can see that being a problem. Examples include Super Saiyan God Vegeta's God Shine attack and Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Die Missile Barrage. As it stands, these moves are essentially unusable. I wouldn't say unusable, it's just for the people that don't know how to fight against it, then yeah, it's usable, but for the most part, people that know how to play the game, these attacks are very, very blockable. In Tenkaichi 3, many players that did not have a step-in sway would enter a counter-attack perception stance if the player did a step-in to guard. This was removed entirely in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. They said please bring this back as it would improve combat fluidity and give the player/character an extra defensive option during close combat. If an opponent vanishes a blast, the player shouldn't be locked in an animation for too long. You know what? I fucking agree. There's so many instances where I would hit like, I don't know, a Kamehameha, and then the dude vanishes it, yeah? And then I'm just standing there, just doing the Kamehameha. Or I know there's another instance where if I blink the special blast, and I'm pretty close to the person already, and I try to do a grab animation and they cancel it, there's a chance that the blast is just gonna continue while they cancel my grab animation, which is weird. Like it's just there, a beam, and there's no player. There's no player near the beam. It's so weird. Anywho, rush attacks slash combos. Recovery from Grand Slash, which is the sweep, is rather slow. This gives the player the ability to simply Grand Slash and then immediately charge ki while the opponent can't respond. Please consider adjusting this. Allow charge smashes to be used at any point in rush combos. Please, oh my god. There's so many instances where I'm just in a combo with square and then triangle. Then I'm like, yo, it would be pretty nice to throw in a smash over here, you know? But no, I can't do those. It's kind of jarring, not gonna lie. Currently, the only way to use any form of charge rush smash in a combo is near the third or fourth hit, which limits combo variety and creativity. If used outside of the third or fourth hit of a rush combo, the defending player usually gets enough time to simply turn around and guard or retaliate in some other way. Currently, they activate with a delay, making them unusable in combos. These were very useful combo extensions in Tenkaichi 2 and 3. They said, make jump smashes and jump rush ki blasts accessible while in flight, like in Tenkaichi 3. Most of combat takes place in the air either way, I agree. It is rare to find a situation where both players are on the ground the whole time of the match, so these utilities are left mostly unused. In Tenkaichi 3, these were very useful for combo extensions, as seen in the examples below. Ki Blast. Add a Ki Blast cooldown after launching a certain amount of Ki Blast. This will circumvent the Ki Blast spam in Sparking Mode issue by reintroducing the limitation of only a certain amount of Ki Blast being allowed to stay on the screen. I mean, they did say that the Ki Blast value changed per character, and that would make sense. After a short dash, there's a period of time where using Ki Blast will result in consecutive Ki Blast despite standing still. I didn't know that. Jump Rush Ki Blast have a gravitational pull. It makes using them incredibly awkward. Please change this so that the opponent receiving the Ki Blast will be pushed back or remain in position, but remove the gravitational pull. They say that Piccolo gets pulled towards Vegeta. I see it. Because he was at the top of the stairs and now he ain't on the stairs no more. Alright. Bring back the ability to jump after starting and stopping a combo while the hit counter is on screen. If the player hits the opponent and stops, they are unable to jump at all. Adding the ability to add in Jump Rush Ki Blast during the combo will add to combat diversity. Grabs. Downed opponents can be thrown, normal throw, when they are in a collapsed state of needing to recover ki, as seen in Piccolo over here. Throwing with classic controls is awkward because of the required step-in. I agree. On standard controls, the player just has to like block and press square. Let's be real. It's standard controls are, superior. The throw evasion window is too large. The opponent can evade the throw and even after the cutscene begins. I mean, to me, this is pretty okay because I like being able to avoid things, personally. Wow, movement is going crazy here. If the player is airborne with a standard or giant character and vanish, the character is forced back to the ground after the vanish, depending on how close they are to the ground. Yeah, cause what is this? Vanishing player. In many situations, this will stop the vanishing player from being able to properly go on the offensive and thereby voids the reward of vanishing. Please remove this. Non-flying characters should be faster in the step-in barrier. That kind of makes sense. It kind of does. Make general movement speed in close range, ascending, descending, and moving around the opponent faster, even if the player has already made a combo lock. Explanation of combo lock: if the player has hit the opponent successfully and have started a combo while the hit counter is on screen, their movement is significantly slowed down. Only once the hit counter is gone can they move normally. Step in against an airborne opponent will not make the player close the gap if they're on the ground. They will step in and remain stuck on the ground. Please change this. Like, what? Yeah, the problem is here you probably have to jump, but like, as they've said, why? Add wall bounces / character bounces like in Tenkaichi 3. In Tenkaichi 3, going around opponents with a Z-burst dash or regular dragon dash causes a character bounce effect, which allows for extended combos and other opportunities. In Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, going around a character with Z-burst dash will lead to the opponent flying past the player's character. Allow the player to jump / ascend into the short dash without delay. This would allow smoother movement when dashing around. Tenkaichi 2 and 3 allow players to dash immediately after pressing jump / ascend, which leads to another smoother dash. Currently, pressing the dash right after a jump / ascend quickly leads to a heavy delay, which leads to an unpleasant feeling. Dashes. Please remove key consumption for short dashes, but re-implement short dash chaining from earlier demos of the game. In other words, the short dash itself should not consume key, but the chains should. I understand what that means. That kind of does make sense. That does make sense. I'm seeing from the that dash looks so cool, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. That looks so good. That looks so good. I wish I could move like that. The momentum and speed from one short dash needs to carry its momentum until the character stops their movement, like in Tenkaichi 3. The movement feels far too restricted compared to Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3, if the previous point is not implemented. Any type of dashing in Tenkaichi 3, whether a dragon dash or regular dash, then force a hard lock on the opponent. I see what they mean. I see what they mean. Whoa, what is this movement? This example demonstrates how Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's movement speed can be maximized by wasting ki with short dashes in conjunction with Ki Blast. In Tenkaichi 3, the player has full control over the precise movement and it's free of any resources. Yo, that movement is crazy. But yeah, this is the sparking movement. It's pretty good, it's pretty alright. But look at this Tenkaichi 3 movement, my guy. You think this guy has instant teleport? Bro. Dragon dashes. They said speed up dragon dashes. In Tenkaichi 3, this could be used to catch the opponent in their knockback phase. But since the knockback speed is faster, Dragon Dash speed is no longer adequate given the spacious nature of the battle stages. In Tenkaichi 3, there were two types of Dragon Dashes, homing and free. Free Dragon Dashes were used to fly above or under the opponent, parallel to the ground. I'm surprised that they didn't, have these two types of dashes as well in Sparking Zero. Lower the ki consumed by the Dragon Dash to allow the player to approach the opponent appropriately. I mean, this varies. As you know, it's in yellow. So it's really you gotta consider this along the longevity of the game. So these are not things I personally consider too important for myself, but that's just me. The player can't instantly go from Dragon Dash, Ascend, Descend into a free Dragon Dash. It's only possible to ascend and descend into a short dash. Please change this. They said pointing the directional input the opposite direction in which the character will fly will cancel the Dragon Dash. This is frustrating when the player wants to make quick turns, you know? Doing a fully charged smash can give the player an opportunity to follow up with a homing Dragon Dash. In Tenkaichi 2, the only option the player had from the dash was the Dragon Smash, attacking the enemy to send them flying away even further. Tenkaichi 3 added a new feature to cancel this homing Dragon Dash into a free Dragon Dash, opening new opportunities to fly above the opponent and catching them from behind with a wall bounce or stun barrier. Revenge counter. Make revenge counters set both player to neutral. Neutral means that both players are in standing positions without any advantages or disadvantages, allowing them to work when the player is being attacked from behind. As it stands, they are far too weak and almost impractical for their intended use. They can only be countered by almost every defense utility in the game. Currently, the person being hit with the revenge counter has attack priority. Oh yeah, they have problem with certain characters, and I don't play with every single character in the game, so I appreciate them pointing out like the flaws of certain characters, which is nice. Cell second form's throw cannot be countered by throw evasion other than super counter, and is very quick, leading to an unguardable loop. For Piccolo and Bojack, if the opponent has nearly zero health and these characters grab the opponent will not be KO'd. That's funny. Why don't they die? What? Buggy moves that are not comprehensive. Birder's fully charged Grand Slash cannot bypass high or neutral guard. Adult Gohan, Ultimate Gohan, and Zamashu's Ki Blast Cannon, when done after a full rush string into a step-in, their Ki Blast Cannon will blow the opponent out of the combo as if it were used twice in the same combo. And Tapion cannot continue his combo after using flying kicks. Andrew 19 and 20 need to lose ki for Dragon Dashing. They are the only characters that don't lose ki while doing so. As a result, it makes them harder to catch while fighting, and they can waste time in DP battles. I did not know that these guys can just not use ki for doing that. That's crazy. They said, give Turles Rolling Hammer for a rush chain, please. Turles currently has 3 heavy finishes and 1 blaster wave. This gives him extremely limited option to extend combos and make him a very unreliable character in most cases. I mean, I can argue that for a lot of characters, but hey, it's just me. Consider making character archetypes more relevant in gameplay. I feel like that's important. Character archetypes, that's, you know, it's a fun gimmick I think they should, expand upon. Bug, glitches, and other. When the player and the opponent are on the ground and in contact with each other, there's a very consistent bug that inhibits the player from stepping left or right around the opponent, causing a dodge without moving positions. Oh, this is funny, man. Depending on the situation the player is in, if they're attacking a downed opponent or win a rapid movement exchange, the game will force them to stop attacking the opponent if they've successfully caught them and allow them to get out. And in this example, they've shown combos randomly stopping after 2 rush attacks. after image strike, and wild sense all stop working when guarding or deflecting ki blast. Please fix this. This was a problem for me when I was using Oob. Cause like, bro, save me. Wild sense is the only thing that's supposed to save me and my mushy self, man. Some items equipped on characters will be turned on even if the match rule settings have them turned off. That is a big issue. Please fix that. What? The combat camera requires improved stability. The camera frequently whips around at high speeds in different scenarios, and against giant type characters, it becomes difficult to tell where the player character is. The combat camera occasionally rolls to the left and right during combat. Occasionally, after Z-burst dash or an impact action, the camera will zoom out far from the map for a brief moment before snapping back in. Oh man, this is so funny, bro. Reading these is actually just so funny, because what the fuck? What the fuck? And they've done a side-by-side camera comparison. Lock-on doesn't occur when looking straight at the enemy. There have been so many instances I've seen online, content creators when they're fighting and they've done like an ultimate or something. Bro, the person is like literally right in front of them. Look at Vegeta. Vegeta looking like an absolute dumbass. Nigga, he's right there. You've seen him. Your head went left to right and saw him in your peripheral. But no, you don't register that shit. That's crazy. I heard about this Pan issue, but I did not think it was real. Pan's skill, Saiyan Spirit, causes her vanishing attack to do around 8,000 damage individually. This is problematic when she's in sparking mode, as she can go back to back vanishing attacks, which do an incredible amount of damage. This goes hand in hand with the problem that we had with the Giants, because you've seen the Giants, they only need like 5 hits to delete a player. And I mean, hey, just 5 vanishes, that should do about the same amount of damage, not gonna lie, that would delete a player as well. As you can see, Pan's standard damage on her vanishing attack does about 1,187 damage. Right, pretty nice. Pan's boosted damage on vanishing attack after Saiyan Spirit is 7,437. It's kind of insane, bro. That's an insane boost. I don't know what to tell you, bro. That's like times 7 nearly. That's nearly a times 7 boost. Repeated vanishing attacks with a boosted damage. Yeah, this 24k. 24k damage. That's 24k damage off of 2 vanishes. 3 vanishes. 3 vanishes is the price of an ultimate for certain people. Wow. Negative edge input. Button release input. A button input is registered when it is released. Please remove this. It messes with delayed button presses and forces an attack to come out when the intention of the player is not to attack. Yeah, it happens to me sometimes, and it would be nice if they fixed it. A lift strike follow-up randomly causes the opponent to turn around even if it is being performed from behind the opponent. Yeah, I see that happen as well. When a rush combo is being performed from behind the opponent, from the first rush string to the second to the first, during the second string to the first, the opponent can instantly turn around without any animation. Please fix this. Lift strike follow-up randomly misses. That happened a lot of times with me and Oob. After a Z burst dash attack connects, sometimes the player is too far from the opponent to continue the combo. I've seen here with Cooler. Yeah, you knocked Bardock a bit too far there, buddy. Picking different stages saves different characters on the character selection screen. Please change this to keep the character selection consistent on every stage. See, this is something I did not know even happened. That's crazy. What? That's crazy. Health bar regeneration is no longer limited to only filling up the current bar, making team-based battles significantly longer if a character is not being assessed for a prolonged period of time. As you've known, I made it clear in the beginning of this video, DP battles, I'm a C2, C1. I barely touch that, man. So I see where the problem would be, but again, if we're doing a thing for, if it doesn't affect me, it's not really a problem for me, then the game will become dog shit like that. So I guess I'm glad that they're mentioning these things, but I didn't know about it like that, you know? Quality of life changes. Now, prevent Genkai Toppa X Survivor from playing or play another track when the enable anime music background music setting is off. Please also do this for any other anime tracks implemented in the future. Add a skip character intro button for online matchmaking. If both players I'm just say that this would be great. If both players press the button like start or X and they hold it the same way you have to hold it to like go back in certain menus in the game, the match will proceed directly into the gameplay. I think FIFA has this feature where before the match starts they do that whole intro animation of the players warming up on the field and doing all that nonsense. And I think it's kind of like the same for Dragon Ball, the intros. If you could just skip that and hold X, that would be nice. Training settings should have customizable presets. Currently, every time the player boots up training mode, they have to set their preferred training settings from scratch. This happens every single time they change the character lineup, even within training itself. Training mode should add an option to record CPU actions so that players can learn to combat specific scenarios and learn different strategies. This would be pretty cool. This is a very is it like a Tekken or Mortal Kombat? There's a certain fighting game that does this, and I think that's pretty cool. The character select screen should have the option to collapse transformation into the base character. Not too long ago, I saw a Reddit post talking about this, and it was essentially from a designer, right? Like he designs UI menus and stuff, right? I believe that's what he does. And in his own free time, he decided to have a go at Sparking Zero. And he redesigned like the menu for the character selection. And in my opinion, it looks way better than the character selection screen that we currently have. But then again, I'm just here to throw hands. So like selecting characters for me it's not like the character screen is not the most pressing issue to me, you know? But the fact that he changed it and then I saw what it could have been, I was like, yeah, you know, it would be nice if we had that. Because even in the previous Dragon Ball Tenkaichi games, we had this type of like selection for the characters, which was pretty nice and clean if you ask me. So we know who was where, what time frame, because GT was, you know, with the GT, fusions were with like some of the fusions, and then there were customs for that. That was pretty cool too. Allow more time to pick characters in DP ranked matches. Yes, just give us more time, please. Just give us like, because I think the timer is about 45 seconds for singles and DP. Just there's some people that cannot make a team or even choose a single character in under a minute. They need that time. That's just how it is, man. Custom battle should have an option for an audio cue when dialogue occurs. I personally don't use custom battle that much, but it would be nice if they added this for those that do custom battles a lot. Characters in custom battle can speak, but only through subtitles. As a result, it's hard to know when dialogue occurs. Having a short audio cue play when a dialogue sequence occurs would be nice to direct the player for important dialogue. Neither the character select screen or the encyclopedia actually explain what archetype a character is in the game. It's unclear to know that Dispo is a speed character, but Hit is also not a speed character, so it's kind of like misleading without having like an outright check telling us like what type of, it would be like, as they've shown down here, there's different types of archetypes, like Broly is power, Dispo is speed. That would be pretty nice. That would be pretty nice. Please consider adding an online practice mode to be able to train with other players, since online and offline have different timings based on delay. Please, oh my god, because the thing is, I have some friends that picked up Sparking Zero not too long ago. Like, some of them have never watched Dragon Ball before, but they've seen me play Sparking Zero, they've seen me play with my friends Sparking Zero, they've seen how fun it is, they're like, yo, I'm trying to join in, and I'm like, that's absolutely wonderful. But what we can do is that instead of just going straight into training like I did when the game just dropped, I told them that it would be more practical for them to get hands-on experience, so I would just explain the controls to them, how to get certain counters off, how to do side steps, how to get ultimates off, how to get combos off, and things like that. But the problem with that is that I can only rely on certain characters' health and the timer in the room, right? So like, even in training mode, if it was a training mode for online, I would like it that, just like in offline, we get to choose our characters without like the time limit. And then afterwards, we can also choose like to have instant sparking, instant skill counts, and like max health. Because that would be a great game mode for, practicing with friends, and also get friends into the game by not just throwing them in the deep end of ranked. I don't know. Customization should add a color wheel option for all the characters. Okay, listen, I've already made a video about the customization in this game. If you want to check that out, I cover essentially mostly these things that they cover in the game. Which is nice, but except the standard controls, that I didn't cover. What the fuck? Standard and custom controls should have a more option to customize the button layout as desired. I think that would be, pretty cool. Give us versatility, give us the ability to customize the way we want to customize our controls. That would be nice. Add the ability to create preset teams. I've talked about that as well in the quality of life video. A player match queue is needed. My god. Because yes, we've a lot of people have complained that the only way to actually get like regular games is by going into the ranked matches, right? And when you do enter essentially a casual match, it puts you in a lobby, and then there's an instance that the person is not even playing, so the lobby is just there existing, and then maybe as soon as you join the lobby, they leave. So you're just like, okay, bro, can we play? So the only instance you can actually play online is, ranked. And some people care about their ranked, some people don't. So it's really, you gotta be able to like satisfy everyone, right? But I feel like this would be a great addition to the game. I don't know why it wasn't included to begin with. Just like a quick casual match, the same way ranked has it. They said accessibility options need visualizers. See, if you think these are useful, then let me know. Obviously, when it comes to content, they talked about the battle stages. I obviously made a whole video about that as well. You should go check that out. See, more battle stages as well. They've said it. More costumes, they said it like I did. Bringing back HQ versions of legacy soundtracks from the Western releases of Tenkaichi 2 and 3, including normal and instrumental versions of Tenkaichi 3's opening Super Survivor. You know, like, think about it, bro. They've made a whole bundle for the soundtrack. They can just continue down this path for the people that want sound in the game like that. Like, it's not that difficult. But I'm just glad that some people, they value the audio like this. They like the music of Dragon Ball and they want to have it in the game. It's so simple. It's just as simple as that. Presentation. The punches and kicks and a lot of rush animations across the game lack impact, and I 110% agree. Either through weaker screen shake, less impactful sound design, or slower animation, many rush animations in the game appear less impactful. Please consider updating some of these moves in the future. And they gave us an example of what they meant by impact. I would say that the reason as to why is because in the previous Tenkaichi 3 game, the impact frame gets stopped at the moment of impact, so it feels as if the hit is heavier. While over here, we know that Sparking Zero is hella fluid, 60 frames per second and whatnot, so like the impact frames don't necessarily stop like that to give it an impact. Last but not least, add the out of bounds boundary that was in Tenkaichi 2 and 3 in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's very hard to visualize and discern where a character is near the edge of the stage. And it's also not really possible to move beyond that because it's the edge of the stage. So it would be nice to have like a boundary. I also agree with this. That is basically what they covered in the feedback document. Thank you for all these contributors that made this possible. Well, I want to know what you guys think about, are there some stuff that they missed? Are there some stuff that you think that is not necessarily a need to change? Let me know and let's talk about it.